Part 85. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 843. You can't say that. If Qin Feng had been discovered by the Qin clan early, I'm afraid he wouldn't be as successful as he is now. Of course, there are monks who hold different views. In their view, Qin Feng is as peerless as he is today solely because his qualifications and disposition far exceed those of ordinary people. It was also because the other party had suffered so much that he was able to accumulate a lot of experience and discover the bloodline of the God King body to the extreme. Anyway, it's a worthwhile trip to see the confrontation between two invincible divine bodies today. The elders of many big forces were frightened. Both of them had the potential to be invincible. If they all stayed in the ancient Qin clan, it would really frighten the hearts of many of them. Now, this result is the best. No matter who of the two dies, it will cause a great blow to the prestige and strength of the ancient Qin clan. If you want to cultivate such an invincible holy son, it will cost a huge amount of resources, and you have to start from scratch. Even the ancient Holy Land will be in pain. Brush. Suddenly, Qin Shu's figure appeared behind Qin Feng. His whole body was filled with blazing momentum. A fairy sword condensed in his hand, flowing with terrifying brilliance, engraved with the king's runes, and transformed into thousands. This sword light suddenly appeared from the void, its divine power soared to the sky, and the terrifying murderous intention swept across the surrounding areas, slashing towards Qin Feng's back. At this moment, the gorgeous purple-gold brilliance directly overwhelmed Qin Feng. Each fairy sword was more than 10 feet thick, with murderous intent rising into the sky. Countless monks in the sky were all horrified. Each of these kingly swords intertwined with purple and gold brilliance exuded an aura that would destroy everything, making people terrified. Some of the king monks who came to celebrate their birthdays were also frightened. This terrible power could already threaten their lives, making them have palpitations. Qin Shu, the holy son of the ancient Holy Land, can already threaten their lives. His qualifications have surpassed those of the elders, so why aren't they afraid? Clang, clang, clang. Qin Feng was in the ocean of swords, and the golden bell of the immovable God King blessed his body. The vision of the God King in this world also blessed his body, making him still fearless. When the thousands of immortal swords touched his body, they heard the sound of gold and iron, just like they collided with immortal gold, making a deafening sound. At this moment, a shocking thing happened, those purple fairy swords. Like the ocean, Qin Feng is drowned, and the sound is endless. After all the sword energy collapsed on Qin Feng's body, people found that Qin Feng stood there, unmoved at all. Qin Shu's rune fairy sword didn't even break through the defense on his body. This kind of defense was simply frightening. Brush. The void trembled, and Qin Shu's figure suddenly appeared 3 feet to one side of Qin Feng. At this moment, Qin Shu's palms flowed with purple gold brilliance, and suddenly cut towards Qin Feng's neck. This was the decisive blow that Qin Shu was about to use. His body was more terrifying than cash, and his eyes were filled with killing, and he stared at Qin Feng with a sneer and murderous intent. I've been waiting for you for a long time. At this time, Qin Feng suddenly turned around, his eyes were also calm and composed, and his reaction speed was slightly inferior to that of even a king like Qin Shu. Clang. Qin Feng instantly raised his hand and collided with Qin Shu's palm, causing a huge roar to come from the world. Qin Feng's palm was shining with golden light at this moment, full of sacred aura. Qin Shu's palms were filled with purple gold brilliance. The two palms collided together, causing terrifying lines to flow out, causing the void to completely riot. The ripples were centered on the two people and radiated in all directions. The murderous auras swept across the sky and made the holy mountains tremble. Hiss. All the monks present gasped, and the two bodies collided, saying that the power that spread out was able to kill the great king. Where their palms met, a black hole appeared, which lasted for a moment before completely disappearing. Buzz. Qin Shu's figure wanted to disappear again, so he used the void technique again. At this moment, Qin Shu's immortal golden body was pulled by the physique of Qin Feng God King, and suddenly emitted thousands of purple gold rays of light from the void. His immortal golden body is far more terrifying and superb than Qin Yi's immortal divine body. Qin Yi was able to maximize his immortal body, and it was only because of Qin Shu's cultivation that he achieved such achievements. At this moment, the power of the two great divine bodies between heaven and earth became blazing, and their terrifying momentum collided in the void, causing ripples to appear in the heaven and earth. As the chi and blood of Qin Shu's immortal divine body were stimulated, his void technique was suddenly broken. Purple gold light appeared on his body, and a huge amount of divine power swept through him. Such a scene made Qin Feng slightly surprised. He originally took the role of God King to strengthen his physical body's defense again to avoid Qin Shu's sudden attack. But he never expected that he could have such an unexpected joy and actually break the opponent's void technique, which really surprised Qin Feng. Boom! Seeing that his void technique failed, Qin Shu no longer evaded. He was suspended in mid-air, covering his body with an immortal golden body, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Even if you have the body of a god king, I can still trample you under my feet. Today I will show you what a true immortal golden body is. Qin Shu shouted coldly, his figure was slender and strong, his black hair was dancing, his body was covered with purple gold brilliance, and he was full of sacred aura. He knew that Qin Yi, who had an immortal divine body, had been defeated by Qin Feng and was killed by Qin Feng. If Qin Feng underestimated his immortal golden body because of this, he would be very wrong. You should know that Qin Yi's immortal divine body was completely activated under Qin Shu's cultivation. Moreover, Qin Yi's immortal divine body was not cultivated to the point of perfection, while Qin Shu had already cultivated the immortal golden body to a small success. The immortal golden body of a small success has surpassed the immortal gold. Once the divine body reaches the 9th grade, it will be the great city in the legend. At that time, the immortal golden body of a great success will be invincible in the world. Although his divine body is only a small success now, it can destroy the king, and can suppress many divine bodies with blood and chi alone. At this moment, Qin Shu's eyes are full of strong confidence. His immortal golden body vision, shrouded by himself, makes the world a-blazing, and the gorgeous purple gold brilliance floods Qin Feng. Buzz. Qin Feng's divine body was stimulated by the immortal golden body, and his blood and chi were boiling. A blazing divine energy spread to the extreme. At Qin Feng's eyebrows, a golden dragon rushed straight into the sky and earth. This was the manifestation of blood and chi turning into substance. The two legendary divine bodies were about to collide and emit amazing sparks. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 844. On the holy mountain of the Qin tribe, violent divine power was growing. The two divine bodies emitted blazing light, and their power was astonishing. This scene is very terrifying. The two divine bodies make the world tremble at every turn. If it were not for the formation blessing from the Qin tribe's holy mountain, they would have been shattered by the bombardment of the two. Boom! The immortal golden body shook out waves like the ocean. Qin Shu's eyes were full of wildness. His arms directly turned into purple gold, flowing out immortal divine light. Qin Feng was naturally unafraid. His body was shrouded in strange phenomena and his aura became stronger. With the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, he stood opposite Qin Shu. Who do you think you are? Because I will trample you under my feet today, I said, No one can stop me. Qin Feng is full of strong self-confidence. Although Qin Shu's cultivation level is as strong as a king's, and he is also a genius who defies heaven, but he himself is even stronger. Boom! The world is trembling. Qin Feng flies in the air, and fights with Qin Shu again. Their divine power is endless, and their bodies are more terrifying than fairy gold. Every time the two of them clashed, it was like forging iron. The loud noise was earth-shattering, making people's eardrums sting and their hearts trembling with fear. These two are too scary. This kind of divine body is truly heaven-defying. Many monks changed their colors, and they were all talking in low voices. Such a genius and such qualifications are really enviable. The holy land of the Qin clan has been passed down for a long time and is more terrifying than the holy land of the vermilion bird. The inheritance of Qin Shu's martial arts is too terrifying. Although Qin Feng is outstanding, he is not as good as Qin Shu in terms of training years, and there is still a period of vacuum. I am afraid he will fall behind. Many outside monks are talking about the long heritage of the Qin clan's holy land and the extremely lethal martial arts. Many people are not optimistic about Qin Feng. What's so great about it? Zhou Qing'er stood beside Long Ma and muttered that the monks around her were not optimistic about Qin Feng's comments, which made her quite dissatisfied. Nearby, some outside monks heard the words and all retreated far away like snakes and scorpions. They stared at Zhou Qing'er and others in surprise, not expecting that the other party would say such words. Some young people who originally coveted the beauty of Zhou Qing'er, Shang Qian, and others immediately stopped. On the holy mountain of the Qin clan's holy land, not everyone can do this by looking down on the Qin clan's holy sun. There were also some monks who saw Zhou Qing'er and others together and found out the details. Naturally, they did not dare to stand with them. Void palm. Suddenly, Qin Shu shouted loudly, and a purple-gold aura flowed from his palms, and he shot towards Qin Feng. A huge palm appeared in mid-air. The palm's name was engraved with the runes of the king. With the blessing of the Qin tribe's holy mountain, its power was indestructible. Moreover, this is not the most surprising thing. As Qin Feng's figure moved, the void palms in the mid-air directly transformed into dozens of palms, covering all the power of Qin Feng's body below, preventing him from doing so. Any chance to escape? Terrifying light radiated all around, and each palm of light was blessed by the king's runes, as if it was about to destroy the world. Bang bang bang. Qin Feng raised his hand, and under the blessing of the lunar and sun, a huge kunpeng flew out of his palm and soared between heaven and earth. Kunpeng's wings moved, tearing apart the void, and collided with Qin Shu's palms, shattering the palms one after another. At the same time, Qin Feng stepped on Lei Xing and walked towards Qin Shu. The energy gained from Hao Hao was thrilling. The bodies of both of them were so powerful that the mountains were shaking. In the distance, countless monks felt chills running down their spines. Even though they were so far away, they could feel the terrifying power of the two men, which was terrifying. The killing moves they used were endlessly powerful. Every attack had the power to kill the heavens and the earth, and their murderous intent was endless. Countless monks who had just talked about Qin Feng's Luo Xiafeng all shut their mouths. At this moment, they discovered that Qin Feng's inherited martial arts skills were no weaker than Qin Shu's. And later on, Qin Feng seemed to have the upper hand. This scene was really shocking, making them feel like they were falling into an ice cellar and their bodies were trembling. In mid-air, the void palm collided with Qin Feng's kunpeng jushan. The sky was filled with divine light that made the surrounding palaces tremble, and it was extremely powerful. Qin Shu was naturally unafraid, and he used endless killing thoughts to attack Qin Feng in the void. The two collided again, and his murderous intention, intertwined with the king's runes, formed a terrifying killing force from heaven and earth, trying to kill Qin Feng. This kind of power is really powerful. Although Qin Feng has the body of a god king, his realm is not as good as Qin Shu after all. The king runes flowing out of Qin Shu's body also made Qin Feng's body feel bursts of pain. Boom! At this time, Qin Shu's power doubled and Qin Feng was directly knocked away. At the same time, Qin Feng's Kunpeng also touched Qin Shu, knocking him upside down and flying out. The two of them had just stabilized their bodies when one divine form emerged after another. They rioted in the world and attacked each other again. The holy mountain of the Qin tribe was completely boiling. The energy of this mountain peak was boiling like the sea, and all kinds of strange phenomena were soaring. Qin Shu was like a purple sun, and Qin Feng was like a golden sunday. The divine light all over their bodies was burning brightly like flames, shining to the extreme. Purple flames surged across Qin Shu's body, containing bits of golden brilliance. The purple gold flames swept through the sky and turned into a huge fire dragon, which collided with Qin Feng's Kunpeng nine heavens. The huge Kunpeng intertwined with the fire dragon in the void, and was destroyed in the void in an instant. This scene really shocked people. The fire dragon and Kunpeng were both creatures in the legend. The collision of two terrible gods actually destroyed both of them in the void. This was really terrible. At this moment, Qin Feng was flowing with phoenix flames all over his body, and he was like a golden god of war. Qin Shu was flowing with purple gold energy all over his body, and he turned into a purple god of death. The flames flowing from their bodies were too powerful, so that the void could not bear it, and it was distorted by the burning. This kind of flame was transformed from the energy and matter around the two people. The killing power contained in it made people change color. Many old monks were very solemn, and they felt even more. They knew that if they collided at close range, they would be covered by the flames on the two people in an instant. Both of them were born with natural talents. Although they were very young, their combat power had already stood at a level that many people would look up to in their lifetime. Even some living fossils of the Holy Land, the older generation figures, could not compare with the two. At this moment, the two were full of fighting spirit, and the aura flowing from their bodies surpassed some of the older generation kings, making the monks ashamed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 845. These two young men are so terrifying. They have only practiced for 30 years, but they have surpassed us old people. It's really embarrassing. The elders of the Holy Land who were watching the battle all changed color. Even though they were so far away, they were trembling with the power overflowing from the two people. At this age, they have achieved such achievements, which has surpassed many living fossils of the Holy Land. This is simply too extraordinary. People can't compare with them, otherwise they will feel ashamed. This is the foundation of the ancient Holy Land. The geniuses it has cultivated are envied by countless holy lands. Qin Feng's whole body was glowing, and the phoenix and Kunfen spread their wings behind him. The body of the unmoving God King was blazing, like a fairy god descending. Swish! Qin Feng was in the void, stepping on the thunder and walking forward, and the terrifying divine power made the void distorted. Qin Shu's expression was cold. This was the first time he encountered such a difficult opponent since his debut. The other party was about the same age as him, or even younger than him, but his fighting power and qualifications were on par with him, which made him unacceptable. Immortal Golden Body. At this moment, Qin Shu shouted coldly, and a huge vision appeared behind him again. The vision was full of purple gold light, just like him. The vision of the immortal golden body was earth-shaking, and the king runes on it intertwined to form a terrible giant. This scene made everyone in the distance change color. The vision of the immortal golden body was truly manifested, with terrible energy blessing. With Qin Shu's shout, his immortal golden body raised a huge foot and stepped towards Qin Feng, with a mighty force. Qin Feng was suddenly startled. As Qin Shu's vision was released, his fighting power doubled, and Qin Feng actually felt the power of the 6th grade king. The terrifying pressure flowing out of it made him feel like he was facing a god. This shows that the immortal golden body vision behind Qin Shu, like his 9 prohibitions, can add to the fighting power. Boom! The kick of the immortal golden body shook the heavens and the earth. The terrifying soul of the foot turned into a giant of dozens of feet, covering Qin Feng's entire body below, with an extremely astonishing power. The energy of dozens of times was superimposed, causing the void to explode under Qin Shu's kick. The surging power made many cultivators despair. In the distance, Shang Qian felt a wave of shock. As the young master of the Shangyang clan, her strength had reached the realm of the king. At this moment, even she felt palpitations when facing Qin Shu's attack. You know, she was far enough away. It can be imagined how terrible the pressure Qin Feng, who was in front, was under. Ashura vision. At this moment, Qin Feng also shouted loudly, and an Azura vision appeared behind him. Because he knew that the God King vision alone would not be able to stop the opponent. As the Azura vision appeared, the red light flowing around it was parallel to the God King vision. As Qin Feng's voice sounded, the huge God King vision and Shura vision bombarded the immortal golden body together. There was a loud noise between heaven and earth, and Shura and God King vision blocked the immortal golden body vision. At the same time, a terrible hurricane overflowed between them, and the hurricane blew in all directions. Even with the protection of the formation, the buildings on this mountain collapsed under this terrible bombardment. Especially the side hall whose formation was destroyed by Qin Feng before, it turned into ruins in an instant and turned into ashes completely. All the cultivators present were pale, and the 2 visions of the divine body appeared, and actually blocked the strong attack of the immortal golden body. Oh my god, Qin Feng actually has 2 invincible divine body visions, the God King body is like a god, and the Shura body is like a demon. This kind of power is like a god and a demon. Many cultivators were shocked. The 2 visions were parallel, and the power they exerted shook the void and turned this place into a terrifying place. In the Holy Land of the Qin clan, there are 3 huge human-shaped images. This image is so tall that even if the holy mountain has the blessing of the formation, it cannot be stopped. Although the indestructible golden body image was blocked by Qin Feng's God King body and Shura image, it did not collapse. It is as indestructible as the name says. After enduring such a terrible attack, it still has no weakness. Kill! Qin Shu shouted lightly, and the terrible killing intent and the image condensed together. He was in high fighting power and pressed towards Qin Feng in the void. Qin Feng was fearless and he also pressed forward. The 2 images flowed thousands of lights behind him, blessing his body and possessing unparalleled power. At this point, both of them have pushed their fighting power to the peak. After the blessing of the holy mountain formation and the indestructible golden body, Qin Shu's fighting power has increased by almost 100 times, releasing a very terrible power. At this time, Qin Feng's combat power also began to increase instantly. With the superposition of his 200 times power at the critical strike, he was like a great god king who had transformed into a god and killed Qin Shu. The 2 of them were shining with brilliance. They pushed their combat power to the peak. The holy mountain was trembling endlessly under the blessing of the formation. The side temple mountain where Qin Feng and his friends were located was in danger of collapse at any time under their bombardment. Many cultivators who were originally far away from this place retreated again and again. They found that even the vegetation not far away from them was instantly disintegrated under the impact of the 2 people's power. You know, they are far enough away and can still feel this kind of pressure. Once they are affected by the combat power of the 2, the consequences will be unimaginable. In the Qin clan Holy Land, many elders and monks were also shocked. They could not accept that Qin Feng could fight with their holy son to such a scene. Some of the older generation figures had murderous intent in their eyes. They knew that if the Holy Sun continued to delay, the consequences would be serious. Because, at this moment, the Qin clan Holy Mountain must have a young strong man to stand up and take charge of the overall situation, so that the Qin clan Holy Land can be stabilized. Otherwise, if it continues to delay, the prestige of the Holy Land will suffer heavy losses. More importantly, the elders and the great accomplishment God King of the Holy Lord Qin Huiyuan's lineage have made preparations to push the Holy Son of their faction to the main position. If the Holy Son of their faction is still delayed here, he will miss the best opportunity. After this battle, no matter who wins or loses, both will be famous all over the world. Yes, this is Qin Shu's home ground after all. His divine power will not be exhausted under the blessing of the Holy Mountain, but Qin Feng will be exhausted. If this continues, the consequences will be unpredictable. Many cultivators whispered that if Qin Feng was given time, he would be able to catch up with Qin Shu sooner or later. Just imagine, once he and Qin Shu are at the same level, I am afraid that few people in this world can control Qin Feng. So in the minds of many people, this is not Qin Feng's home ground. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 846. Many cultivators were not optimistic about Qin Feng. The Holy Mountain of the Group Master could drain the divine power of the cultivators of the Qin clan Holy Land several times, making them inexhaustible. Qin Feng used two terrifying visions, and the energy consumed was unimaginable. Whether it was Shura or the God King, it was impossible for Qin Feng to have inexhaustible divine power. Once it dragged on, in their opinion, Qin Feng would only lose. Little did they know that Qin Shu had been unable to defeat Qin Feng repeatedly, which had already made him very anxious. If he could not fight quickly, he would miss the opportunity to take revenge. And when he used the blessing of the Holy Mountain and the vision blessing of the immortal golden body to increase his power by nearly 100 times, he still couldn't defeat the opponent. The scene made him extremely horrified in his heart. This showed that Qin Feng could still hide his weakness when fighting with him before. This kind of fighting power was simply terrible and abnormal. The sword is coming. At this moment, Qin Shuyi shouted coldly. As his voice fell, in the secret room where he was in seclusion, an ancient long sword suddenly appeared in the sky, revealing endless murderous intent. The long sword pierced through the void and came above Qin Feng and the others in the blink of an eye, revealing a terrifying momentum. The immortal sword that the Holy Sun has cultivated with his life. At this moment, even the elders of the Qin clan Holy Land could not remain calm. They rarely saw the Holy Sun being forced to such a state. He actually took out the weapon that he had cultivated with his life. This immortal sword was forged by the Qin clan Holy Land using the power of the entire clan to find the essence of heaven and earth. When Qin Shu became the king, it was convenient for Qin Shu to be united with his innate qi, and it was extremely powerful. Swish! This immortal sword came into Qin Shu's palm, and immediately flowed out an extremely compelling momentum. The terrible energy overflowed, making people's souls tremble. In the distant sky, many cultivators were shocked. Qin Shu had a long sword in his hand. The aura flowing from the sword made everyone change color. Its power was not inferior to the two immortal swords flying in the sky. Even Yeching Chen, Shang Qian and others were shocked. The black immortal sword exuded a terrifying momentum. It was a demonic weapon at first glance. Qin Feng, you can be proud enough to die under my sword. Qin Shu held the immortal sword, and he exuded purple light, and the killing intent was surging like an ocean. This immortal sword was made of the same material as his immortal sword, which was extremely precious. On weekdays, he could only use the immortal sword. But today, he was forced to use the immortal sword, which made him murderous. The immortal sword is more compatible with the immortal golden body, which can make his combat effectiveness rise to the decision and maximize his power. Qin Feng's eyes turned cold, and he felt a terrible breath from the immortal sword in Qin Shu's hand, which surprised him a little. This Qin clan saint's son actually had two extremely terrifying weapons like him. The other party had an immortal sword that was confronting his immortal sword in the void. At this moment, another terrifying long sword appeared. This long sword was extremely compatible with Qin Shu and had the power to destroy the world. The other party was worthy of being the saint of the Qin clan Holy Land, and his resources were really unfathomable. Six Paths Immortal Sword. With a low shout from Qin Feng, a red blade light flowed from his Six Paths Immortal Sword, forming a sharp contrast with Qin Shu's immortal sword. As soon as this long sword appeared, it immediately flowed with a breathtaking light, and a red divine flame flowed on it, with a world-destroying divine power. Swish! Qin Shu's eyes were cold, and as he moved his mind, the huge immortal golden body behind him slashed a violent sword with him. In a huge sword, hundreds of feet long, it swooped down from the sky and earth, slashed downwards, and instantly split the space. Qin Feng waved the Six Paths Immortal Sword and used the God King Sword technique to block it. The Six Paths Immortal Sword was extremely terrifying and directly blocked Qin Shu's weapon. The two fought a decisive battle between heaven and earth. The purple sword light and the purple gold sword light collided between heaven and earth, surging out the ripples of the avenue. Swish! The immortal sword slashed out, and under the blessing of the vision, the energy blessing was 100 times, and the pressure made the void buzz. In an instant, the sky and the earth were cut open, and inexplicable ripples flowed, which made people shudder. And Qin Feng's Six Paths Immortal Sword, using the God King Sword technique, the gorgeous sword light swooped down between heaven and earth, and the power was extremely shocking. This was an extremely difficult battle for Qin Feng. It was the first time that his golden immortal level longsword encountered an opponent. The blessing of the formation on the Qin clan's holy mountain allowed Qin Shu's immortal sword to collide with his golden immortal six-path immortal sword, which was really unexpected. However, Qin Feng did not lose the wind. The vision of the God King behind him was so powerful that it collided with Qin Shu's immortal golden body vision. The terrible sound penetrated the gold and cracked the stone, causing countless cultivators to pierce the eardrums and fall to the ground. Dang dang dang. The sound was endless. The two great divine bodies in the sky and the three visions confronted each other with overwhelming power. At the same time, Qin Feng, holding the six-path immortal sword, and Qin Shu, holding the immortal sword, had a big duel. Between the two, the runes were shocking, and the Qin clan's holy mountain could not stop them. Many places were destroyed. Things had already reached this point. The mountain where they were located had long been cleared, and countless cultivators stayed away from this position of the holy mountain. The other few saints in the Qin clan's holy land also had cold eyes. Their blood was boiling. Inspired by the battle between the two, their fighting blood was surging, and they wished they could personally participate in the battle. At this time, the Qin clan's mountain protection formation was completely revived, isolating the mountain where Qin Feng and the others were. The power of the two alone would have a huge impact on the buildings on other hills of the Qin clan. The collision of immortal swords and the resonance of divine power, both of them were geniuses, and at such a young age, they had suppressed countless old figures who could not raise their heads. This scene was really hard to describe. Dang, dang, dang. The battle continued, the six immortal ways and the immortal sword collided in the void, and wisps of sword light were everywhere. The two fought to the point of white hot, and the sword energy broke in the void one after another, and the sound was endless, shaking the heaven and earth. Qin Shu became more and more frightened as the battle went on. He could not accept that the weapon he cultivated with his life, plus the energy blessing of the immortal golden body, and the superposition of almost 100 times the strength, could not defeat the opponent. This was the first time he felt a sense of crisis since his debut. The young man in front of him was the most difficult opponent he had ever encountered in his life. If the opponent had been discovered by the Qin clan saint one step earlier, his achievements would be even more terrifying. Sword. At this moment, Qin Shu's cold light stood upside down, his hair was dancing wildly, and the immortal sword that was confronting Qin Feng's immortal sword in the sky also turned back and came into the hands of his immortal golden body. At this moment, Qin Shu waved the immortal sword, and the immortal golden body behind him waved the immortal sword. The thick sword light and the knife light combined to slash at Qin Feng. The combination of sword light and knife light caused the world to collapse. The thick light crossed the sky like a giant dragon and slashed on the mountain where Qin Feng stood. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 847. With the blessing of the critical stone, Qin Feng used the immortal sword to perform the supreme heaven-slaying sword, and the power of Jingxia's martial arts broke out in full force. At the same time, he used the Six Paths immortal sword to perform the God King sword technique, and the terrifying energy sword and sword combined to rush into the sky, as if a killing god who was like a god and a demon reappeared in the world. The God King held a long sword, and Shura held a long sword. The sword and the sword light suddenly hit the sky, and finally everything was invisible. Boom! Clang! The world was trembling, and the terrible power of the immortal caution and the God King body was overwhelming and shook the entire Qin clan holy mountain. It was as if two ancient beasts were released, and the purple gold light filled the sky between heaven and earth, and the terrible magic that made people palpitate was transmitted. When the light dispersed, people found that Qin Shu, who was an immortal golden body, was half kneeling on the ground, and his body was covered with terrible blood stains. Opposite him, Qin Feng stood in the field, holding the immortal sword and the Six Paths immortal knife. The combined attack of the sword and the sword deformed the space. With the power of 200 times, Qin Feng directly broke Qin Shu's immortal golden body with the sword and the sword. Impossible, how is this possible? Qin Shu couldn't accept it. How could he, a great king and the son of the ancient Holy Land, be broken by a person who was at a higher level than him? This was beyond his expectation. Everything is possible in this world, nothing is impossible. Qin Feng did not move the God King's light shield. The Shura vision and the God King vision had completely disappeared when they collided with the immortal golden body vision, but his power was still undiminished. Swish! At this moment, a powerful energy light wave surged from Qin Shu's body. He held the immortal sword and the immortal knife, overflowing with waves. In the distance, everyone was dumbfounded and couldn't accept that Qin Shu was defeated in the confrontation between the two visions. Oh my god, the God King body actually crushed the immortal God body. Three visions that stood tall and upright collapsed in the void. It was so terrifying. Even if a great king went up with this kind of power, he would probably be chopped off. These two people are too amazing. Countless cultivators were discussing, all of them were very surprised. The three visions collapsed, and the overflowing power actually caused the mountain guarded by the Qin clan's holy mountain formation to be plowed away. This was too terrifying. You know, this is a field that is protected by a king-level formation and isolated. With the blessing of this formation, the mountain is already comparable to fairy gold. However, such a solid mountain was still beaten to pieces under the power of the two people. This is enough to show how terrible the power of the two people is. Come again. Qin Feng said lightly, and he stepped on the thunder step to cross the void in the void, like a golden light, and in an instant he descended on Qin Shu. At this moment, he was not going to give the other party another chance, because he felt that the other party's power was comparable to that of the godly Wood Demon King. If he continued to delay, he might have more troubles. Swish! Qin Shu naturally could not retreat. He jumped up from the ground, and the king rune on his body protected his defense. The immortal sword and the six paths immortal sword collided between heaven and earth, and the energy crushed flew in all directions, hitting the two people's body shields, and a loud noise was heard. The swords collided and the sound shook the earth. Both of them had divine power, and they had not shown any weakness after such a long time. Their divine power was like the sea, and they were truly geniuses. Die. Qin Shu's eyes were full of murderous intent. In the previous fight, he was injured by Qin Feng on the surface of his body. Although he did not hurt his bones and internal organs, this scene was also unacceptable to him. Although he could recover from such a scratch in an instant, the opponent had no scars on his body. All this showed that the opponent not only had the capital to fight against him, but also had the physical body to crush him. Dream on. Qin Feng sneered, and he stepped on the thunder step in the void, and his figure became more and more illusory. Later, Qin Feng's six paths immortal sword and Qin Shu's immortal sword collided with each other, and the terrible energy was soaring. The eighth sword of the God King sword technique was used, and this sword directly surged out 200 times the superposition, hitting Qin Shu's arm and spasming, and he couldn't hold the immortal sword. The immortal sword was directly shaken away and rolled in the sky. At the same time, Qin Shu's arm was directly broken, and blood flowed. Ah! Qin Shu screamed, and the long sword slipped out of his hand and he was stunned. He had never lost a battle with the same level, and his body was invincible, but today, he was defeated by a young monk. The opponent was of similar age to him, with a lower realm than him, but stronger in combat power, which made his eyes red and filled with hatred. Swish! Qin Shu's arm was broken, which immediately gave Qin Feng hope. He took advantage of the victory and continued to chop down with the six immortal swords in his hand. The terrifying energy chopped on Qin Shu's body shield, making a clanging sound. This was an extremely horrifying scene, and countless cultivators were dumbfounded. At this moment, Qin Feng was actually crushing the immortal and cautious Qin Shu. Such a scene was hard to imagine in the past. Although Qin Shu was being beaten by Qin Feng, he had not lost his confidence in resistance. The immortal sword in the distance, under his control, flew towards this place. He raised the immortal sword in his hand to resist Qin Feng's attack, but one arm was injured, making him a little embarrassed. Moreover, the other party didn't give him time to treat him at all, which made him anxious, and his whole body was burning with anger. Boy, you are really bullying me. At this critical moment, Qin Feng didn't give Qin Shu a chance at all, which made Qin Shu extremely angry. He couldn't accept that he was actually being beaten. However, Qin Feng's speed was so fast that Qin Shu didn't even have time to use the king's magical power to repair his arm. The world was trembling. Qin Feng's swords and swords roared together, pushing his martial arts to the extreme. The blades and sword energy completely overwhelmed Qin Shu. The brilliant sword light, supported by the critical stone, finally pressed Qin Shu from the sky to the earth. Clang clang clang. The terrifying metallic vibrating sound spread out, and Qin Shu was drowned out by the sharp sword energy. At this moment, Qin Shu's body was filled with king's runes, and the formations on the holy mountain shrouded his body, blessing his body. At the same time, the immortal sword in the sky also turned upside down, and under Qin Shu's control, it slashed towards Qin Feng's eyebrows. Qin Feng naturally did not dare to be careless. He raised his long sword to stop it immediately, and the terrifying sword light directly knocked the immortal sword away again. It was at this moment that Qin Shu finally escaped. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 848. Ah, Qin Feng, I'm going to kill you. No one can stop me. Qin Shu roared loudly, and the bones of his arm crackled. Under the blessing of the king's magical power, he was completely revived, and he held the immortal knife. At this time, Qin Shu's black hair danced wildly, directly stopping the elder monks from the surrounding factions who wanted to surround him. The arrogance of the Holy King and the Holy Sun did not allow him to lose like this. He still has the strength to fight. If he cannot defeat his opponent on his own, it will inevitably damage his Taoist heart and make him unable to advance further. Kill you. Qin Feng's words were deep and cold, and he could only respond with two words. Under the blessing of the critical stone, his whole body's energy and blood surged. At this moment, he let go of the immortal killing sword in his hand and transformed into a huge phoenix god in the void, flowing with terrifying pressure. At the same time, Qin Feng held the Six Paths immortal sword in his hand, and red Shura pressure flowed from his body. The golden body is immortal and the sword is immortal. Qin Shu shouted loudly, his swords were combined, and the runes of the immortal golden body were engraved on his body. Wisp after wisp of pressure pressed into the sky, making the heaven and earth crack like sounds. Afterwards, the two of them stood at the strongest point. With the addition of the secret method, they collided fiercely. At this moment, the world was trembling, and the light around the two people made a sound like a landslide and a tsunami, shaking the earth and the earth. Crack. At this time, a horrifying thing happened. Behind Ching Ching, two Asuras appeared. The Shura vision waved the long knife, and two black holes appeared in the void. The terrifying divine energy flowed out of the black holes, like the door of 6 reincarnations being opened. The terrifying black hole destroyed everything, and when Qin Feng waved his long knife and slashed forward, it fell towards Qin Shu. Qin Shu's immortal golden body covered his body, and the king's runes around him were shocking. The sword light and sword energy bombarded the black hole, making a sound like the sky was shattering and the earth was cracking. The next moment, a huge amount of vitality was completely burning and boiling. Then everyone discovered that Qin Shu was blown away. He was bleeding from his mouth and nose. Under the oppression of the 6 paths of reincarnation, even he couldn't bear it even if it was powerful. Brush. Qin Feng followed up, and the 6-path sword in his hand slashed forward again, under the blessing of the critical stone and the pressure of 6-path reincarnation. The superposition of hundreds of times of power made it unbearable for the void. Then Qin Shu was blown away by Qin Feng. He was in mid-air with blood gushing wildly and could no longer hold on. Ah! A long and shrill howl came out, and 6 reincarnation ghosts filled the air, creating a terrifying scene. Qin Shu collapsed in the sky, and he completely disappeared on the spot. This scene shocked everyone. Qin Shu's figure disappeared from the place, leaving only the immortal knife and an immortal sword. This scene made people stunned. Holy Sun! You dare me, boy! Court death! At this moment, many powerful people in the Qin clan Holy Land were shocked. The Holy Sun, who was very promising to become the next Holy Lord, was defeated like this and ended up dead. This made people unbelievable. Kill him and avenge the Holy Sun. The elder monks of the Qin Shu faction could no longer bear it. Their murderous intent surged around them, and countless flying swords and magic weapons surged towards Qin Feng, completely engulfing him. However, at this moment, Qin Feng was using the 6 paths of reincarnation, and his power was extremely powerful, and the 6 paths of reincarnation also had the magical power of superimposing cultivation levels. Those moves directed at Qin Feng were all swallowed up by the 2 black holes that appeared in the 6 paths of reincarnation, directly strangling the magic weapon into pieces and disappearing into nothing. One person can still remain invincible against many elders and monks in the ancient Holy Land. This scene is difficult for everyone to understand. In the distance, countless monks were dumbfounded. The Holy Sun of the Qin clan Holy Land was crushed, and the strong men of the Holy Sun faction could not even avenge the Holy Sun. The enemy was young, but he had already surpassed countless. The living fossil shocked everyone. Countless monks in the distance were all discussing, and their moods were all ups and downs. This scene was something I had never seen before in this life. The powerful holy son of the ancient Holy Land was actually crushed by a young monk. This was something that no one could understand. Avenge the holy son. The elders of the Qinshu faction were all filled with murderous intent. How could they accept that their holy son was being crushed on their territory? Once this news spreads, it will have a huge impact on their Qin clan's holy land. More importantly, the death of the holy son they sent and worked so hard to cultivate would make many elders' plans come to nothing, and it really made them crazy with hatred. You know, Qinshu is definitely the most dazzling one among the many saints' sons. If he falls like this, his faction will be unable to hold its head high. And if their faction wants to cultivate such a peerless holy son, it will not be able to do so in a short period of time. This will make them disqualified from competing for the position of Holy Lord. In the distance, some of the holy sons of the Suzaku Holy Land also had cold eyes. Qinshu, like them, was one of the holy sons. Qinshu's fall was beneficial to them, but they couldn't accept the sight of Qinshu being crushed by a young monk whose level was lower than theirs. Although among the many saints' sons, Qinshu's cultivation level may not be ranked first, they are not far behind. Such scenes all told them that Qin Feng also had the qualifications to crush them. Ah, boy, I'm going to kill you. The elder of Qinshu's faction, the living fossil of the Qin clan Holy Land, the great elder Qin Wuidao, was the one who could not accept this situation the most. As the holy son of the Qin clan Holy Land, they had high hopes for Qinshu, but he just died like this, which made him unacceptable. Qinshu's death was an unbearable loss for him. The demise of the other party meant that all the plans over the years had gone down the drain, which he really could not accept. After all, although the other holy son of their faction was also extraordinary, he could not reach the height of Qinshu at all. Qinshu's death was more regrettable than the death of their elder living fossil, which made their plans for dozens or hundreds of years all come to nothing, which really made him furious. The great elder can't care about so much, kill Qin Feng quickly to eliminate future troubles. Yes, as long as Qin Feng is eliminated, we can take control of the Holy Land with the power of victory. Then, we can buy time for our holy son. At that time, we can use the strength of the whole clan to train him slowly. Beside Qin Wuidao, there were faction elders who sent messages, and they showed murderous intentions. At this moment, the great elder must not lose his composure, otherwise, when the Holy Master's line recovers, their lives will be in danger. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 849. Yes, that's the only way. Qin Wuidao nodded. It was the only way to go. In the distance, no one was calm. Everyone's face was full of horror. No one expected that the result would be like this. At this moment, people were watching the old man floating in the air, all trembling with fear. Qin Wuidao, the great elder of the Qin clan Holy Land, was second only to the Holy Lord Qin Wuyuan. At this time, on Qin Wuidao's body, the invisible killing intent enveloped Qin Feng. His power locked Qin Feng, making the world tremble, flowing with an unparalleled sense of oppression. This scene made Qin Feng's eyes cold. He could see that the deterrence overflowing from the old man in front of him was comparable to the demon king of the divine tree. On Qin Wuidao's body, the killing intent was like a tide, covering the hill where Qin Feng was. Qing immediately felt a strong pressure. If he was not a divine body and had not been blessed by the critical stone, he would have been shattered directly under such pressure. 8th grade king. At this moment, Qin Feng was shocked. Qin Wuidao was so powerful, and Qin Qi was like a god, with unimaginable deterrence. Just when Qin Feng was considering whether to use his biggest trump card to crush him directly, An astonishing divine power fluctuation was also heard from the direction of the temple in the distance. Immediately afterwards, Qin Huiyuan, the Holy Lord of the Qin clan Holy Land, floated into the sky, and he walked step by step towards the mountain where Qin Feng was. With every step Qin Huiyuan took, the entire holy mountain was shrouded in his rhythm, and the overflowing pressure made everyone present tremble with fear. The Holy Lord of the Qin clan Holy Land, Qin Huiyuan. Didn't they say he was seriously injured? Why does he look fine? Is everything fake? Many people were shocked. The Holy Lord of the Suzaku Holy Land was not injured, but he looked down upon the entire ancient Holy Land like a god. As the Holy Lord's mighty power surged, a terrifying ripple of pressure came from the Qin clan Holy Mountain. This scene frightened everyone present. Some cultivators of lower realms collapsed to the ground, unable to withstand this invincible power. Even the elders of Qin Shu's faction were panicked. Everyone was stunned. Qin Huiyuan was like a god. His mighty power as a great king was so great that countless people could not bear it. What is going on? Qin Huidao looked at an elder of their faction. It was the elder who told them the legend that the Holy Lord was seriously injured and was about to become a Taoist. Otherwise, they would not have been able to act so quickly, because if they were defeated, they would certainly not be able to bear the wrath of the Holy Land. Although their faction was the strongest, they could not fight against Qin Huiyuan. In the Qin clan Holy Land, Qin Huiyuan was the number one in the ancient Holy Land. Unless the real foundation of the Qin clan Holy Land was used, no one could be Qin Huiyuan's opponent. It's very simple, because he is my man. Qin Huiyuan's voice sounded, and as his voice fell, the elder next to Qin Huidao came directly to Qin Huiyuan's side. Qin Huiyuan, you are too scheming, really black-hearted and ruthless. Qin Huidao said in a low voice. His words were cold, and he didn't expect to be set up like this. If I didn't do this, how could you jump out? Qin Huiyuan was suspended in the air, with a divine ring flowing around him, and his cultivation was as high as the 9th grade king. A terrifying aura permeated his body, and countless cultivators looked at this scene, and all their souls were full of thoughts. In the far sky, many cultivators were stunned. No one expected that the result would be like this. It was too unexpected. At this moment, many powerful people from the Qin Huiyuan faction in the Qin clan Holy Land had instantly soared into the sky, and the terrifying energy pressured the sky with unparalleled power. At the same time, the elders of the other factions in the Qin clan Holy Land instantly made their positions, and they all stood by Qin Huiyuan's side. The cultivation of the Holy Lord Qin Huiyuan was as high as the 9th rank. He possessed unparalleled power. When he was not injured, no one dared to rebel. Moreover, even some faction elders who were originally subdued by Qin Huidao also rebelled instantly. This farce came and went quickly. Many elders of the Qin clan Holy Land were subdued without much resistance. Only Qin Huidao, who had a cultivation of the 8th rank, was the most difficult. As the great elder of the Qin clan Holy Land, his cultivation was amazing. At this moment, he was suspended in the air, with a startling murderous aura in his eyes. Although the Holy Land of the Qin clan was shrouded by the Holy Mountain, he could still escape with his cultivation. However, the matter had already failed, and he had no intention of escaping. Beside him, there were only a dozen direct elders who had not left. These people were the cultivators who had planned the plan at the beginning. Even if they surrendered, their end would not be very good. Qin Huidao, surrender. As an elder of the Holy Land, you have no merits but have worked hard. I will let you enjoy your old age. Qin Huiyuan was suspended in the air, and he approached the hill where Qin Feng and the others were. He knew that if Qin Huidao and the others fought to the death, it would cause heavy losses to their holy land. Surrender? Haha. Qin Huidao had no intention of surrendering. Qin Feng killed the holy son of their line, which made him unacceptable. Even if he died, he decided to kill Qin Feng directly. Boom! At this moment, a terrible light flowed from Qin Wudao's body. In an instant, he decided to kill Qin Feng. Qin Wudao's palm covered the sky and the sun, revealing the terrifying power of the king, covering Qin Feng. At this time, it was too late for Qin Wuyuan to make a move. He watched Qin Wudao's palm slap in the direction of Qin Feng, and the king's rune shook the earth. In the distance, many powerful people who came to celebrate the birthday were all horrified. Everyone thought that Qin Feng would be completely killed under this unparalleled attack. There were also many cultivators and elders of major forces who showed a gloating look in their eyes. They believed that even if Qin Feng was extraordinary, he had no power to resist the 8th grade Qin Wudao. Even the saints of the Qin clan Holy Land were the same. In their opinion, although Qin Feng was against the sky, he could not get rid of the full force of the 8th grade king. There was no doubt that this was a mountain removed from their hearts. Qin Wuyuan was also feeling regretful at this moment. He wanted to save Qin Feng very much, but he was too far away. He knew that Qin Feng was indeed a very talented person, but he had not grown up and could not be compared with the living fossils of the Holy Land. Everyone thought that there would be no accidents, and Qin Feng's only fate would be death. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 850. Boom! The world was trembling, and the terrifying palm covered the sky and the sun, covering Qin Feng below. At this moment, Qin Feng, with the blessing of the critical stone, used the immovable God King's golden bell, and his defense became extremely strong. Bang! Qin Feng was photographed on the spot, and the terrifying King Rune acted on his body, directly photographing him on the top of the mountain. The entire mountain peak shuddered under the blow, as if the heaven and earth had collapsed. Master! Qin Feng! Owner! Zhou Qing'er, Longma, and others all panicked and were hit head-on by the terrifying Daqin King. Such a scene was unacceptable to them. Qin Feng, who has always been quite powerful, was shot like this. This scene is too scary. Although Zhou Qing'er and others believed that Qin Feng would avert danger as before, such a scene still made them frightened and worried. Shang Qian and Long Ma immediately rose into the air and flew towards the mountain peak where Qin Feng was. At this moment, Qin Feng, who was buried by rocks, heard a cold shout. No need to come over. He pushed away the boulder pressing on him and floated in mid-air, with murderous auras surging around him. Just now, even though Qin Feng had the blessing of a critical attack, his internal organs were severely damaged after being attacked head-on by the 8th level king. At this moment, Qin Feng's mouth was bleeding. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and then swallowed a 9-turn resurrection pill. All this seemed slow, but actually happened in an instant. When Qin Feng floated into the air, Qin Wuyuan, the Holy Lord of the Qin clan's Holy Land, also happened to block Qin Wudao. Boy, you really surprised me. You withstood my full attack and you're not dead yet. Qin Wudao's eyes flashed with cold light. Qin Feng killed their line of saints, which really caused them huge losses. And he, the accomplished king, actually failed to kill the other party after personally taking action. This really made him mad with hatred. If you can't kill me, then you missed your only chance. Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air with a cold expression. There was a terrible killing intent in his eyes. This man already had a way to kill him. Missed, there is no such word as missed here. I can't kill you once, just one more time is enough. A cold light flashed in Qin Wudao's eyes. The king's runes flowed in his palms, and the 8th level strength spread out again, preparing to kill Qin Feng in one fell swoop. At this time, Qin Wuyuan naturally couldn't let him get his wish. He blocked Qin Wudao in front of him, waves of coercion flowing around him. That's enough, let's capture the Great Elder without any help. Qin Wuyuan stood in front of Qin Wudao, and he was quite surprised that Qin Wuidao did not slap Qin Feng to death. However, if Qin Wuidao is allowed to commit murder in front of his eyes again, then he, the Holy Lord, will really have no place to rest. Humph, go kill him. Qin Wuidao released powerful energy and stopped towards Qin Wuyuan. He knew that with Qin Wuyuan's presence, it would be difficult for him to kill Qin Feng. However, this did not trouble him. Following his order, many direct elders gathered behind him and surrounded him. These dozen or so people were not ordinary people. The most powerful one hit one person. His cultivation level was that of a 4th level king, and he was extremely fierce. As Qin Wuidao finished speaking, they surrounded Qin Feng with a fierce aura. A swarm of ants. There was a trace of contempt on the corner of Qin Feng's mouth. He didn't notice these dozen elders at all. Qin Feng used the heaven-defying Divine King sword, and extremely terrifying sword lights appeared in the sky, shrouding the elder at the front. That elder was Qin Wuidao's right-hand man, but he couldn't withstand the attack of Qin Feng's god-defying king's sword, and was chopped into the void in an instant. Then, fairy fire filled the air, directly submerging it on the spot, burning it into ashes, and the body died. The other dozen or so elders all froze in place with horror on their faces when they saw the most powerful elder dead. You must know that although they are elders of the Qin clan Holy Land, not everyone has the fighting power of Holy Son Qin Shu. And among the elders, the most powerful one was killed by Qin Feng in an instant, with no chance to resist. If they took action rashly, they would die faster. No wonder they were afraid. Qin Feng's 200-fold blessing of the heaven-defying God King's sword technique was so terrifying that Qin Wuidao's helpers had no time to dodge. The reason why the other elders were frightened was because the elder who took action first was Qin Wuidao's right-hand man. The other party was a strong man second only to Qin Wuidao. He was killed by Qin Feng just like that, let alone them. A bunch of trash, why don't you take action quickly? Qin Wuidao, who was confronting the Holy Lord of the Qin clan, was angry. Among the dozen elders behind him, the weakest one was also in the quasi-king realm. However, they all froze in place, not even daring to look Qin Feng in the face, which really made him extremely angry. He had spent a lot of effort and resources to train these elders, but now these people were actually intimidated by a young man, which was really intolerable to him. Formation. At this time, Qin Wuidao's other right-hand man knew that he could not continue to look like this, and he immediately gave an order. With his proposal, the other dozen elders beside him saw hope. They took action and surrounded Qin Feng. At this time, under the leadership of the elder, the formation flowed with amazing power, and Qin Feng's bra, the king rune, was surging. What are you doing? Why don't you retreat quickly? The Holy Lord who was confronting Qin Wuidao was extremely angry. At this point, the elders of Qin Wuidao's faction were still so unreasonable. They really didn't take him, the Holy Lord, seriously. Qin Wuyuan and the others are my people. Do you want to give them orders? It's really wishful thinking. Qin Wuidao's eyes were about to spit fire. At this point, Qin Wuidao was still giving orders to his people, which was simply intolerable to him. Just a bunch of trash, watch me break the formation in an instant. Qin Feng's mouth showed a clear smile. In terms of formations, his attainments were extraordinary. Qla. In just a moment, Qin Feng stepped on the thunder step and disappeared in mid-air. The next moment, Qin Feng appeared beside the elder who presided over the formation, and the phoenix divine fire flowed in his palm, drowning the king. In just a blink of an eye, Qin Feng broke the opponent's formation, causing the elders of Qin Wuidao's faction to be in chaos. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fa Shi. Chapter 851. The elders of Qin Wudao's faction were all terrified. They couldn't stop the enemy with their formation. The enemy broke out of the formation in an instant. They were too strong. More importantly, the elder who presided over the formation was killed in an instant. This shows that the young man's formation attainments are extremely high. He found a way out in an instant and destroyed their formation. You want to trap me with just a formation? It's a fool's dream. Qin Feng stepped on the thunder step, and phoenixes flew out one after another around him, destroying Qin Wudao's other left and right arms in the void on the spot. With just 2 moves, Qin Wudao's left and right arms were cut off, and the rest of the people were all panicked. At this moment, Qin Feng was suspended in the air, his eyes were cold. Senior Saint Lord, let him play. Qin Feng always remained calm, even when facing the 8th grade Qin clan Saint Lord, he still maintained a humble attitude. Qin Wuyuan was slightly stunned when he heard this. It was really surprising that Qin Feng could break the formation in the blink of an eye. However, after breaking the formation, the other party actually wanted to attack Qin Wudao, which was beyond his expectation. He thought that although Qin Feng's ability was unimaginable, he was afraid that he was slightly inferior to Qin Wudao. However, when he saw the confident look in Qin Feng's eyes, he nodded and took a step back. Boy, since you want to die, then I will fulfill your wish. Qin Wudao's body was shining. He didn't expect Qin Wuyuan to really agree. At this moment, murderous intent burst out in his eyes, and the whole person's aura soared, showing the strength of an 8th grade king. The great king who can reach the 8th grade is an extremely powerful existence in the whole Dongzhou. At this time, Zhou Qing'er and others saw that Qin Feng was fine, and finally calmed down, but they were still worried about Qin Feng's desire to kill the 8th grade Qin Wudao. This Qin Wudao is different from all the enemies Qin Feng had met before. His strength is very rare in the entire Eastern Zhou dynasty. Oh my god, Qin Feng actually wants to challenge Qin Wudao. Qin Wudao's strength is so strong that he is among the 8th grade kings. Even the Qin clan Saint Master may not be able to take him down. Many king-level cultivators who came to congratulate him talked about it. The 8th grade king can be regarded as the top existence in Dongzhou. The living fossils of ordinary holy places are completely incomparable. Even the foundation of some holy places cannot reach the 8th grade king. And now, a young man like Qin Feng actually wants to kill Qin Wudao, which makes everyone talk about it. Many people stand on the side of Qin Wudao. After all, Qin Feng is only the 7th level of the princes. How can the gap of a large realm and a distance of more than a dozen small realms be easily crossed? Swish! In an instant, Qin Wudao stepped on the void, and his kingly aura bloomed, fully demonstrating the terrifying strength of the 8th grade king. Just one punch, the king rune engraved on it, made the world riot, as if it was going to crush the void with one punch. This earth-shattering punch was magnified in front of Qin Feng's eyes in an instant, and its flowing power was even stronger than the palm that hit Qin Feng before. 8th grade king, right? I'll show you what a truly invincible king is. Qin Feng was too lazy to talk nonsense. He stood in the air and took out his trump card directly. Between his palms and fingers, a worn-out stone axe appeared. The worn-out stone axe flowed with a terrifying light, and instantly thought of Qin Wudao slashing it. This axe chopped down, and a huge giant appeared between heaven and earth. The axe in the hand of the god giant chopped down and shattered the sky. For a moment, the entire holy mountain of the Qin clan was in the wind and clouds, shaking violently. Everyone present was in deep shock. Everyone saw that the arrogant Qin Wudao was so vulnerable in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng's axe chopped down and chopped Qin Wudao alive in the air. The 2 halves of his body flew backwards, and blood filled the sky. Even though Qin Wudao's cultivation was powerful, he was so vulnerable in front of Qin Feng's axe. The Kaishan stone axe was an invincible existence. Ding, congratulations, remember, kill the Invincible King, unlock the seal of the Kaishan Stone Axe, and the Kaishan Stone Axe will have a cooling period of 3 days. At this time, the system's prompt sounded. Qin Feng killed an 8th grade king, and the system did not reward him with any magic weapons or elixirs. Instead, it directly unlocked the seal of the Kaishan Stone Axe, so Qin Feng's eyes lit up. The cooling period of the Kaishan Stone Axe was changed from 20 days to 3 days, which was really helpful to him. It can be imagined that when the seal of the Kaishan Stone Axe is completely unlocked, its might will become the most powerful weapon in the world, without a doubt. The dignified 8th grade king fell just like that. Such a scene made everyone on the scene gasp and stare with eyes wide open. Those great kings who were not optimistic about Qin Feng just now also shut their mouths and dared not speak again. When they thought of their faces that looked down on Qin Feng and praised the 8th grade king just now, they felt their faces were hot. They were just slapping themselves in the face. Go. At this moment, the elders of Qin Wudao's faction, who were originally in a mess, panicked instantly. Their leader Qin Wudao was killed without even being able to stop a single move, which made many of them look horrified. The remaining dozen or so Dachan kings in the field all wanted to retreat. Although the Holy Land was shrouded by the formation, as the elders of the Qin clan's Holy Land, they knew the origin of the formation. I want to run away, do I agree? Qin Feng's voice was cold. He looked at the elders of Qin Wudao's line just now, with murderous intent blooming in his eyes. The monks from Qin Wudao's group who were originally preparing to escape could not help but froze on the spot, with expressions of horror on their faces. They knew that Qin Feng's strength was too strong. With Qin Feng's strength, if he didn't want them to leave, they would have no chance to escape. Lord Holy Master, please spare your life, we know we were wrong. At this moment, under the leadership of an elder, the elder monks of Qin Wudao's faction immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Holy Lord Qin Wudao, hoping that Holy Lord would save their lives. What do you beg me for? You have offended Shenzi Qin, so of course you have to beg him. Qin Wudao floated in mid-air and shook his sleeves. These kings were all disciples of the Holy Land. If they all died, it would cause heavy losses to their Holy Land. However, after seeing the power of Qin Feng's axe just now, he knew that if Qin Feng did not intend to let these people go, even if he, the Holy Lord, begged for mercy, it would be useless. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 852. Young Master is in danger of dying. We know we were wrong. We hope that you will spare our lives regardless of the villain's fault. Young Master, you are so arrogant, just think that we are nothing. At this moment, the previously aloof kings all knelt down in front of Qin Feng, kowtowing to Qin Feng and begging for mercy. In the face of life and death, they put down their arrogant face, all cried bitterly, and no longer had the invincible grace of the great kings. You attempt to subvert the ancient Qin clan, so you will naturally be handed over to the Holy Lord. Qin Feng waved his hand. He himself came to the Qin clan to discuss the matter of destroying the killer dynasty. If all these Dachan kings were killed, the relationship between him and the Qin clan's Holy Land would become extremely tense. By then, his plan to unite with Qin Lord Holy Land to destroy the Assassin dynasty would be in vain. Therefore, Qin Feng must betray Qin Wuyuan, the Holy Lord of the Qin clan, to save face. These kings are also one of the trump cards of the Qin clan Holy Land. Sparing their lives and letting them contribute to the destruction of the Assassin dynasty later can also increase the chance of victory. The elders of the Qin Wudao faction in the Holy Land of the Qin clan were all stunned when they heard this. They thought that a jealous young man like Qin Feng would not let them go. But they didn't expect that Qin Feng in front of them was so easy to talk to, which made them calm down quickly. Thank you, Mr. Qin, for sparing your life. The accomplished kings of Qin Wudao's faction quickly thanked Qin Feng, and even the holy master of the Qin clan's holy land showed a look of surprise in his eyes. He didn't expect that Qin Feng would actually sell him this face. His own Dacheng king besieged the opponent, which had a very bad impact. What's more, there are many outside monks watching the battle. If they directly favor these kings, word will definitely damage the face of their Qin clan holy land. At this moment, Qin Feng decided to send these people to the holy land of the Qin clan to be punished, which was undoubtedly to protect the face of his holy lord. This moment made Qin Huiyuan praise Qin Feng a little more. After all, he was the de facto controller of the Qin clan's holy land. Although Qin Feng is a descendant of the Qin family, he no longer has much identification with the Qin clan's holy land. Someone will take these elders to the prison to wait for disposal. Qin Wuidao, the holy master of the Qin clan, waved his hand, and immediately behind him were many elders and guardians who stepped forward and took all the great kings into the sky prison. In the distance, the faces of many monks were filled with horror. The great master Qin Wuidao died like this. This was really shocking to them. This kind of impact made them unbelievable. Qin Feng's strength was really terrifying, far beyond what ordinary holy landlords could resist. Even among those monks, some of whom were close friends of Qin Wuidao, they did not dare to say a kind word for Qin Wuidao at this moment, otherwise they would most likely end up costing their own lives, and the gain would not be worth the loss. Some strong men from the Qin Wuidao faction in the Qin clan's holy land were still making trouble, but they were quickly suppressed, and the rebellion was quickly subsided. When everything calmed down, the Qin clan holy lord's birthday banquet was once again in full swing. Any holy land, after experiencing such twists and turns, would be enough to break their muscles and bones. However, the strength of the Qin clan's holy land was too strong. Even after the death of several kings, it quickly became orderly. At this moment, Qin Huiyuan, who was sitting in the main seat, felt a pain in his heart. When Qin Feng and Qin Shu were fighting, he had already sent people to activate the formation, just to save one person in the rare time. But he didn't expect that even with the protection of the formation, Qin Feng still killed Qin Shu in front of him. It really made him feel a little sad that a genius like Qin Shu had fallen like this. In the middle of the Holy Lord's birthday banquet, Qin Feng, on behalf of the Suzaku Holy Land, made a proposal to mask the Killer Dynasty. When Qin Feng revealed his intention, he caused an uproar in the Qin clan Holy Land. The Killer Dynasty has been accumulating evil in the world for a long time, and many powers want to remove it. However, they are deeply rooted and difficult to eradicate. At this time, two major holy places took the lead, and other holy places responded immediately, and Qin Feng's proposal was quickly passed. It was a huge event to extinguish the Killer Dynasty. The Killer Dynasty was extremely terrifying. Among them, there were as many powerful people as there were in the Holy Land. It is undoubtedly a very difficult thing to overthrow the Assassin Dynasty. However, with the two major holy places taking the lead and many holy places responding, they formed a super alliance. Suddenly, the news that the two holy places were taking the lead to destroy the Assassin Dynasty spread throughout Dongzhou. This incident caused an uproar. The first thing Qin Feng had to do was to operate on a branch of the Assassin Dynasty to show the strength of their alliance. After everyone decided on the first combat target, a powerful pressure suddenly appeared in the sky above the Qin clan. Immediately afterwards, a heavenly gate appeared in the sky. In the palace of the Qin clan, everyone came to the Holy Mountain martial arts arena and looked at the heavenly gate in the sky, where powerful auras flowed out. At this time, all the people staying in the Qin clan's holy land are the elders and masters of the holy land, and their strength is naturally not weak. However, when they saw the heavenly gate in the sky, their expressions changed drastically. Those who could cross the heavenly gate must not be ordinary people. He is a strong man from Xiankang state. The king monks in the Qin clan holy land blurted out this, and they were extremely surprised. Just as these people were shocked, the cultivators in the sky had already fallen and appeared in people's sight. These people were shining with cold light, and they exuded a terrifying aura. The leader was a middle-aged strong man, whose cultivation was in the 7th rank of the king. Behind him, there were 300 cultivators, holding spears, with a mighty aura, and they were also in the king level. I wonder what the Taoist friend from Suankang's who has come to my Qin clan Holy Land for. The holy master of the Qin clan Holy Land, Qin Wuyuan, frowned, and he looked at the strong men in the sky. At this moment, the cultivators from Suankang's who came to Dongzhou, which might be a big deal. Suankang's who is one of the several major divine states in the ancient continent. It has been suspended above for many years and has terrifying strength. Suankang's who is different from Dongzhou. It is close to the laws of heaven and earth, with vast and abundant cultivation resources and many strong men. On weekdays, cultivators from Suankang's who rarely come to Dongzhou. After all, in their eyes, Dongzhou is a barren land in the lower world and is not worth their attention. Qin Feng stood there and looked up at the sky. He frowned. He had heard a little about Suankang's who. In Chenmu Cave Heaven, he had killed several powerful people from Suankang's who and Kang Long clan. He didn't expect that in just a few days, he would see people from Suankang's who again.